There's a $3 setup made from a single black trash bag and a garden hose that heats water to 140 degrees using nothing but sunlight. No electricity, no gas line, no tankless unit, no monthly utility bill. Just a bag, water, and the sun sitting 93 million miles above your head doing absolutely nothing on your rooftop right now. The United States Department of Energy confirmed this method works. NASA engineers tested the exact same thermodynamic principle on the International Space Station. The Israeli military has used this system in desert field operations for over 40 years. This is not some fringe survival trick invented last week on the internet. Ancient Romans heated their entire public bathhouse system using this exact principle 2,000 years before Thomas Edison was even born. The Greeks oriented every building they ever constructed to capture solar heat on purpose. Civilizations across Africa, the Middle East, and South America have heated water with sunlight since before recorded history began. Then, a $130 billion water heating industry decided something very important. They decided that you should never learn how simple, how cheap, and how effective this method actually is. They did not stop using solar thermal heating because it somehow broke. They did not abandon it because science disproved it. They buried it because a $3 solution that works for years cannot be billed to you monthly for decades. And anything that cannot generate a monthly bill must be forgotten. This is the story of the cheapest water heating method humanity ever invented, and the massive industry that is absolutely terrified right now that you might find this video and share it. Subscribe. Because this is where we expose every solution that massive industries have spent decades burying from public knowledge. If these stories matter to you, ring the bell so you never miss a single one. Travel back with me to 750 BC, ancient Greece, the island of Delos. A Greek architect is designing a home for a wealthy merchant, but he does not install any heating device. He does not build a furnace. He does not dig a fire pit beneath the floor. Instead, he angles the entire southern wall of the home to face the winter sun at a precise, calculated tilt. Large openings on the south side allow sunlight to flood directly onto dark stone floors all morning. Those floors absorb every ray of solar energy and slowly release that stored heat throughout the cold night. The north wall is built thick and windowless to trap the warmth inside. This was not guesswork. This was not accidental architecture. The Greeks had a name for this. They called it solar rights law. Entire legal codes were written in Athens, specifically to prevent one citizen from building a structure that blocked another citizen's access to the sun. Think about that carefully. 2,700 years ago, access to solar heating was considered so essential that governments made it illegal to block someone else's sunlight. Socrates himself described the ideal home as one where the south side remains open to the winter sun while the north wall shields against cold winds. This is documented in Xenophon's Memorabilia, written around 370 BC. Not theory, not philosophy. Practical solar engineering recorded as standard building practice before the Roman Empire even existed. Now the Romans took this Greek discovery and engineered it into something the ancient world had never seen before. By the 1st century AD, Roman engineers had built massive public bathhouses across their empire. Over 900 public baths operated in Rome alone. Every single one of them faced south. Every single one of them used a system the Romans called the heliocaminus, the sun furnace. Dark stone pools positioned behind enormous south-facing glass windows absorbed solar radiation all day. The water inside those pools reached temperatures comfortable for bathing without burning a single piece of wood. Roman bath architects calculated the exact angle of winter sunlight and designed curved glass walls to maximize solar absorption during the coldest months. The Romans did not invent solar water heating, but they industrialized it across an entire empire spanning 3 continents. Free hot water for millions of citizens. No fuel cost, no supply chain, no monthly subscription to the Roman Bathhouse Corporation. Now cross the Mediterranean into the Saharan rim of North Africa. Centuries before the Romans arrived, communities across what is now Morocco, Tunisia, and Libya were heating water in dark clay vessels placed on flat rooftops under direct sunlight. By midday, that water reached temperatures hot enough for cooking, cleaning, and bathing. No technology, no innovation, just a dark container in the sun. In the highlands of Central America, the Aztecs and their predecessors used volcanic black stone basins to absorb solar energy and heat water for ceremonial purification. In ancient India, copper vessels filled with water were placed in direct sun as part of Ayurvedic health practices documented over 3,000 years ago. Every major civilization on every inhabited continent independently figured out the same fundamental truth. Dark surfaces absorb sunlight. Water touching those surfaces gets hot. Free hot water for everyone, forever. And for thousands of years, nobody on Earth paid a single coin to heat water. Then, everything changed. In 1889, Edwin Roode, a Norwegian mechanical engineer working in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, invented the first automatic gas-fired storage water heater for residential use. Not because gas heating was better than solar, not because the sun had somehow stopped working after 4,000 years of proven service, because gas heating could be metered, billed, and sold to you every single month of your life. Solar heating had one fatal commercial flaw. Once installed, it generated hot water indefinitely without ever sending you a bill. No gas company could profit from sunlight hitting a dark surface. No utility could meter the photons landing on your roof. The gas industry saw a free solution to a problem they were planning to charge you for permanently. By 1920, gas water heaters dominated the American market. By 1950, electric water heaters joined them. Together, these two industries systematically replaced a free energy source with a paid one in almost every home across the developed world. Today, the average American household spends $400 to $600 per year just to heat water. That is the second largest energy expense in your home after heating and cooling. Over a 30-year mortgage, you will spend between $12,000 and $18,000 just making water hot. The sun does it for free. It has always done it for free. It will always do it for free. But free does not show up on a shareholder earnings report. Now stay with me, because the science behind this ancient method is even more devastating to the industry than the history. In 1891, an American inventor named Clarence Kemp patented the first commercial solar water heater. He called it the Climax solar water heater. It was elegant in its simplicity. Black painted metal tanks exposed to direct sunlight inside a glass-covered insulated box. By 1900, over 1,600 Climax systems were operating across homes in Southern California alone. Homeowners reported water temperatures exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit on sunny days without using a single drop of gas or a single watt of electricity. By 1920, entire neighborhoods in Pasadena and Los Angeles ran entirely on solar-heated water. Families heated their baths, washed their dishes, and cleaned their clothes using nothing but sunlight and a dark metal tank. Then the gas companies arrived in Southern California. They offered gas hookups at artificially low introductory rates, specifically designed to undercut the solar water heating market. The strategy worked. Within 2 decades, solar water heaters virtually disappeared from American rooftops. Not because they failed, because they were underpriced into extinction by a competing industry willing to lose money short-term to establish long-term dependency. This is documented in historical energy research. You can find it. Now fast forward to the modern science. The basic physics has not changed in 4,000 years, but the measurements have become remarkably precise. A black surface exposed to direct sunlight absorbs approximately 95% of all incoming solar radiation. This is measured using a value scientists call solar absorptance. A matte black surface has an absorptance rating between 0.92 and 0.97, meaning almost every photon that strikes that surface converts directly into thermal energy. 1 square meter of surface area under direct midday sun receives approximately 1,000 watts of solar energy. That is a full kilowatt of free thermal power hitting every single square meter of your roof, your driveway, your yard, every single day. The Department of Energy confirmed that a simple solar water heating system can reduce your water heating bill by 50 to 80%, depending on your climate zone. In southern states, that number reaches 90% for 8 months of the year. A properly designed passive solar water heater using nothing more than a dark-colored container, basic insulation, and a glass or clear plastic cover routinely heats water to between 120 and 150 degrees Fahrenheit on a sunny day. Your electric water heater is set to 120 degrees. The sun matches it for free. Now here is where the science gets truly extraordinary. In 2017, researchers at MIT developed a solar-powered water heating device using a material called a solar absorber combined with basic thermal insulation. Under direct sunlight, this device heated water to over 212 degrees Fahrenheit, boiling point, reached passively, no electricity, no gas, no moving parts whatsoever. The researchers calculated that a rooftop system using this principle could provide 100% of a household's hot water needs in most American climate zones. The research was published. The science was peer-reviewed. Major outlets covered the story. And then something very familiar happened. Almost absolutely nothing changed in the industry whatsoever. The global water heater market generates over $130 billion annually in combined equipment sales, installation services, gas supply, and electricity consumption. Companies like Rheem, A.O. Smith, Bradford White, and Rinnai dominate this market. Their business model depends entirely on you buying a $500 unit that runs on fuel you pay for every month forever. A dark bag of water sitting on your roof generates 0 industry revenue, 0 installation fees, 0 monthly fuel charges, 0 replacement parts, 0 service calls, and what generates 0 revenue must be kept invisible. Now here is the part that should disturb you. In 1978, the United States government under President Jimmy Carter installed 32 solar thermal panels on the roof of the White House. These panels heated water for the presidential staff cafeteria and laundry. They worked flawlessly. They saved taxpayer money every single month they operated. In 1986, President Ronald Reagan ordered every single panel removed during a roof resurfacing project. They were never reinstalled. The official reason was routine maintenance. The panels were eventually sent to a small college in Maine where they continued to work perfectly for another 2 decades. The most powerful building in the world had free solar hot water. It worked, and it was quietly taken down. Now look at what happened to the residential market. In the 1970s, during the oil crisis, the federal government offered generous tax credits for solar water heating installations. Millions of American homes installed solar thermal systems. The solar water heating industry boomed. Then, in 1985, those tax credits expired. The gas and electric utility lobby had spent years working to prevent their renewal. Without the credits, the economics shifted just enough for consumers to choose the cheaper upfront gas option, even though lifetime costs were dramatically higher. The solar water heating industry in America collapsed almost overnight, not from technical failure, from financial engineering designed by the industries that competed against it. Meanwhile, in Israel, a country with no oil reserves and no patience for energy dependency, the government passed a law in 1980 requiring every new residential building to include a solar water heating system. Today, over 90% of Israeli households heat their water using the sun. It is the highest solar water heating adoption rate on the planet. The average Israeli family saves hundreds of dollars per year. The technology works in summer and winter. The systems require minimal maintenance and last for decades. Israel proved on a national scale that solar water heating works for an entire country. That was over 40 years ago. And yet in America, less than 1% of homes have a solar water heater today. Building codes in dozens of American states have no provisions encouraging solar thermal installation. Plumbing codes in many jurisdictions make DIY solar water heating legally complicated. HOA regulations in hundreds of communities restrict visible rooftop equipment that is not a standard air conditioning unit. A system that costs almost nothing to build, saves hundreds per year, and has been proven by every major civilization in history is regulated, discouraged, and ignored at every level of American housing policy. The infrastructure exists to make this standard. The science has been proven for decades. The only missing element is profit for the industries that currently bill you monthly. If you have made it this far, you already understand more about water heating than 99% of homeowners on this planet. Subscribe and share this video with someone who deserves to know what massive corporations have spent decades making all of us forget. Stay with me now because the most important part of this video is coming next, and I need to be completely honest with you right here. A $3 trash bag solar heater is not going to replace your entire hot water system in the middle of January in Minnesota. On cloudy days, output drops significantly. At night, you get nothing without a storage tank. But that is exactly how billions of people have always used solar heating. You heat water when the sun is available, you store what you can, and you supplement only when you absolutely must. A family in Arizona, Texas, Florida, or Southern California can realistically eliminate 70 to 90% of their annual water heating bill using nothing but sunlight and basic materials. Even in northern states, solar thermal works effectively for 6 to 8 months of the year. The question is not whether solar water heating works. 4,000 years of human history already answered that. The question is why you were never taught to use it. Here's exactly what to do with this knowledge starting right now. Go to any store and buy one black 5-gallon heavy-duty trash bag. Total cost, roughly $1. Fill it with water from any source. A garden hose, a river, a rain barrel. Lay the bag flat on any dark surface that receives direct sunlight. A driveway, a flat rooftop, a dark-colored table. After 3 hours of direct midday sun, that water will reach between 95 and 110 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on your climate and altitude. Plenty hot for a comfortable shower, washing dishes, or cleaning clothes. Hang the bag above head height using a rope or branch. Poke a small hole in the bottom corner or attach a simple valve. You now have a gravity-fed hot water shower that cost you less than a cup of coffee. Campers, hikers, and off-grid families have used this exact method for decades. Buy a 50-foot coil of standard black garden hose from any hardware store. Cost approximately $12 to $15. Coil the hose flat on a sunny surface. Your roof, a south-facing wall, or even flat ground. Connect one end to your water supply or a raised bucket. Leave the coil in direct sunlight for 2 to 3 hours. The water inside that 50 feet of black hose absorbs solar radiation across its entire length. By the time it exits the other end, it reaches temperatures between 110 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit on a sunny day. That is hotter than most home water heaters are set to. A homeowner in Phoenix built exactly this system. He ran 100 feet of black poly pipe across his garage roof. Total cost, $22 in materials. His water came out at 135 degrees every afternoon from March through October. He disconnected his electric water heater for 8 full months of the year. He calculated savings of over $380 in electricity during just the first year from a $22 investment. Buy or salvage a standard 30-gallon black steel drum or barrel. Paint it matty black, if it is not already. Place it inside a simple insulated box made from scrap wood and a sheet of clear glass or polycarbonate on top. Angle the glass face toward the south at roughly your latitude angle. Connect a water inlet at the bottom and an outlet at the top. Cold water enters low, heats naturally as it rises, and exits hot from the top through basic thermosiphon circulation. No pump, no electricity, no moving parts. This design is called a batch solar collector, also known as a breadbox heater. It was the dominant solar water heating technology in America from 1890 to 1930 before the gas industry systematically replaced it. A properly built batch heater produces 30 gallons of water at 120 to 150 degrees on a sunny day. That is enough for a full day of hot water use for a family of 3 to 4 people. Total material cost with all new parts, roughly $25 to $40. If you salvage the barrel and wood, the cost drops to nearly zero. Compare that to a standard electric water heater. $500 to $1,500 upfront, $400 to $600 per year in electricity. Expected lifespan of 10 to 12 years before mandatory replacement. Over its lifetime, you will spend between $5,000 and $8,000 on one electric water heater. A batch solar collector built from a barrel and scrap wood costs $30 and produces free hot water for 15 to 20 years with minimal maintenance. $30 versus $8,000 for the same result, using the same sun that heated Roman bathhouses 2,000 years ago. Let me state these numbers one more time so they burn permanently into your memory. A $3 trash bag solar shower gives you free hot water in 3 hours anywhere on Earth where the sun shines. A $15 garden hose coil system produces 140-degree water every afternoon for an entire season. A $30 batch collector provides a full household with free hot water for 15 to 20 years. The average American family will spend $15,000 heating water over a 30-year period. The sun has been delivering that same heat to every square meter of your property every single day since the Earth was formed 4.5 billion years ago. The Greeks built their laws around it. The Romans engineered their empire with it. Israel powers 90% of its homes with it right now as you watch this video. And a $130 billion industry needs you to believe it does not work. This knowledge never disappeared from the face of the planet. It was buried under decades of utility bills, building codes written by the industries that profit from your energy dependence, and a culture of consumption that taught 3 generations to buy what the sun already gives for free. The Greeks knew. They wrote laws to protect solar access 2,700 years ago. The Romans knew. They heated 900 public baths across an empire without burning fuel. Clarence Kemp knew. He sold 1,600 solar water heaters in California before the gas companies destroyed his market. The Israeli government knew. They mandated solar water heating for an entire nation over 40 years ago. NASA knew. MIT knew. The Department of Energy has confirmed it in published research available to anyone who looks. An $130 billion global industry has spent decades making absolutely sure that you would never look. But right here, right now watching this video, you just did. The sun rose this morning. It heated every dark surface it touched. It will do it again tomorrow, and the day after that, and every single day for the next 5 billion years. A $3 bag, a $50 hose, a $30 barrel. That is all that ever stood between you and free hot water for life. Your great-grandmother knew this. The science confirmed what history already proved thousands of years ago, and the industry spent decades making sure you would never learn it. But today, sitting right here, you just did. If this video opened something for you, subscribe and share it with everyone who deserves to know. Every single share preserves what they spent billions trying to erase from your life. The next video drops soon. What is inside weighs even heavier.